We're going to talk serious politics in a second, but I have to do this first because he wants to get paid. Please donate, because also the Prime Minister's office does not pay this show to be out there to put the basic facts in front of the people of Canada. And I'm going to continue doing that right now with John Capobianco, who's been on this show before. He is I call it a big shot conservative. And thanks for coming on. And let's just talk about the fact that since Trudeau has said he's going to resign, he intends he's going to resign, the Liberals have gone up, actually, a few of the poll. And so some people are saying, well, we still want to have a Liberal government. Others are saying, and I hear from people in Buckhorn, no, we don't like this government at all. We don't like the policies. We don't want them continued. The leadership candidates are saying we're going to continue some of this. And then there's other people saying, well, yeah, Poilievre. He is not winning any popularity contests. What can you do about that?
Well, first off, I'm not surprised about the polls, and if the polls shifted a bit in favor of the Liberals when Trudeau decided to resign, I'm not surprised by that, Stephen, for a number of reasons. One is, I think that there was a lot of Canadians who were really upset at him, the policies that he brought in since he was Prime Minister and the way that he's conducted himself.
He's not a dictator. It was the whole government agreed with that.
But Canadians have turned off him because they loved him in 2015 when they brought him in from third place to become Prime Minister. But since then, obviously, they've kind of soured on him. So there's some Canadians who said, okay, glad he's out. Maybe I'll take a second look at the Liberals, not knowing who the next Liberal leader is going to be.
Right.
So there's that. And I also think, too, that like we saw in Kamala Harris, in the United States, when she took over from Biden, the Democrats took a bit of a jump in the polls, but then it flattened out, and then of course we saw what happened at the election.
How do you spend $1 billion on an election and lose?
I know, right? Well, you spend it, you don't spend it right. But I do think that there's that level of change that does affect polling, it does affect people's perception of things. I would say that that's not something that's sustainable. I think it's probably something that is just going to flatline over the course of the next little while. Really, when the rubber hits the road is when the Liberals pick their leader on March the 9th, right, and then whoever he or she is, and an election is called thereafter. I think that's when the polls are going to matter, because then you're going to see whoever the Liberal leader is up against Pierre. And Pierre, some people may like him, some people don't like him. It's not a popularity contest, as politicians say. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to run the country. And I think
okay, but you still have to, yes, people are saying, he has some good ideas, but they don't warm to him.
Well, again, there's a lot of leaders, Stephen, we all know that, are way too nice and they don't succeed necessarily in politics. And there's a few of them that have not even lasted that long. But what Pierre is, he's strong, he's convicted to his principles. And I think people like that, given the fact that they're not seeing it from the opposition or from the Liberal government.
They're seeing a principled government.
They're seeing an unprincipled government is what they're seeing in Ottawa.
Yeah. So really, when it comes down to it, though, you're saying that notwithstanding that he may not be the most likable, a lot of people say he's very decent, but he is not charming like Trudeau was in 2015.
Well, and I know Pierre. I've known him for a long time, and he's smart and he's consistent. And what you see is authentic Pierre, and he's not going to change that.
Authenticity. It's a big thing in elections. Oh, thank you very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act. Once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.